Last Tuesday, I had a conversation with my sister that lasted maybe 20 minutes. We didn't yell, nobody cried. We were just talking through some old family stuff, carefully choosing our words, trying not to hurt each other. When I hung up the phone, I felt like I'd run a marathon. My shoulders ached, my jaw was tight. I needed to lie down. And I remember thinking, we were just talking. We were sitting down. So why did my body feel like it had been through something physical? If you've ever felt completely exhausted after a tough conversation, even when you were just sitting there, this video is for you. Because what's happening in your body during those moments is very real, and understanding it changes everything. Here's what most people don't realize. Your brain doesn't actually distinguish much between physical threats and social ones. When you're in a difficult conversation, maybe with a partner who's upset, or a boss who's criticizing your work, or a friend you're confronting about something that hurt you, your body reads that situation as danger. Not danger like a lion is chasing you, but danger in the way that matters to a human brain. Your relationships are threatened, your sense of safety is threatened, your identity might be threatened. So, your nervous system does what it's designed to do. It activates. Your heart rate increases, pumping blood to your muscles. Stress hormones like cortisol and adrenaline flood your system. Your muscles tense up, ready to fight or run. Your breathing becomes shallow. Blood flow actually decreases to your digestive system and redirects to your limbs. Your brain starts burning glucose faster, trying to process every word, every facial expression, every tone shift, because it's trying to keep you safe. All of this is happening while you're sitting in a chair, trying to look calm, trying to find the right words. One conversation, and your body is running a crisis response is only part of it. During a difficult conversation, your brain is doing several complex things at once. You're monitoring the other person's reactions. You're choosing your words carefully, running simulations in your head. If I say this, they might think that, so maybe I should say it this other way. You're managing your own emotions, trying not to get defensive or shut down or say something you'll regret. You're holding space for their emotions while processing your own. You're tracking the history between you and this person, all the context that makes this conversation loaded in the first place. It's like running multiple programs on a computer simultaneously. Each one drains the battery. Psychologists call this cognitive load, and it's exhausting in a way that's hard to describe to someone who hasn't felt it. Because you're not just thinking, you're regulating. You're controlling impulses. You're staying present when everything in you wants to leave or defend or attack. There's a reason hostage negotiators and therapists talk about how draining their work is. They're doing this kind of cognitive and emotional labor for hours. And you're doing a version of it in your hardest conversations, except you're also emotionally invested in the outcome. Here's where it gets even more interesting. In most difficult conversations, especially with people we care about or depend on, we're not fully expressing what we feel. We can't. It wouldn't be appropriate or safe or productive. So we're feeling anger but showing calm, feeling hurt but staying composed, feeling scared but appearing confident. This kind of emotional suppression requires enormous energy. Studies show that when people suppress their emotions, they show increased activity in brain regions associated with cognitive control. Their blood pressure goes up. Their memory for the conversation actually gets worse because their brain is using so much energy just to maintain control. Think about the last time you cried after a hard conversation ended. Not during it, but after. That release happened because you'd been holding a dam in place, and dams take energy to maintain. I remember a conversation with a friend who was angry with me about something I'd done. I knew she was right, but I also felt misunderstood. For 30 minutes, I listened, I apologized, I explained gently, I stayed open. What I didn't do was cry, even though I wanted to. I didn't get defensive, even though I felt defensive. I didn't leave, even though I wanted space. When she left, I sat on my couch and couldn't move for an hour. Not because the conversation was long, but because of how much energy it took to stay in it the way I needed to. Attention. In normal, easy conversations, your attention can wander a bit. You're relaxed, you might think about something else for a second. You're not analyzing every word. But in a difficult conversation, you become hypervigilant. You're scanning for signs of how it's going. Is their tone softening? Are they getting more upset? Did that word choice land wrong? Are we making progress or is this getting worse? This kind of sustained, intense attention is neurologically expensive. Your prefrontal cortex, the part of your brain responsible for complex thinking and regulation, is working overtime. And it runs on glucose. When you deplete it, you feel foggy, tired, sometimes even physically weak. It's the same reason you feel exhausted after taking a really hard exam, even though you were just sitting at a desk. Your brain was working at maximum capacity, and that work has a physical cost. So when people say it was just a conversation, they're missing the point. It wasn't just a conversation. It was a full-body, full-brain experience of navigating threat while trying to maintain connection. That's not small. That's huge. Understanding this changes how you treat yourself after difficult conversations. You're not weak for needing to rest. You're not being dramatic. Your body just went through something real. The exhaustion is evidence of effort, of care, of the work it takes to show up for hard things. So give yourself permission to recover. After a tough conversation, you might need to be alone for a while. You might need to move your body to discharge some of that tension. You might need to eat something because your blood sugar actually drops during stress. You might need to do something simple and mindless because your brain needs a break from high-level processing. And if you have multiple difficult conversations in a short period of time, understand that you're asking your system to run that crisis response over and over. That's why some weeks feel impossibly heavy even when nothing that bad happened. You've been in a state of activation repeatedly, and you haven't had time to fully recover between rounds. This also means that preparing for difficult conversations matters. Going in rested, fed, and regulated gives you more resources to draw from. And knowing you'll be tired afterward means you can plan for that instead of being surprised and frustrated by it. The next time you feel destroyed after a conversation that was just talking, remember this. Your body doesn't know the difference between running from danger and sitting with it. Both take courage, both take energy, and both deserve rest afterward. You're not too sensitive. You're human. And being human in hard conversations takes everything you have.